website due for an upgrade? Are you relying on Facebook to deliver customers to your door? Eagle Web Development offers affordable, fast, and mobile-friendly websites for our business partners. For more information, go to eagleradio.net. Eagle Radio, online, creative. Be heard, be seen, get results.
Facebook is the leading social media platform used by almost 2/3 of all internet users. Eagle's team of social media experts will craft a custom campaign targeting exactly who you want to reach when you want to reach them. Let Eagle help you unlock the power of social media today.
With news outlets in 9 communities in 3 states, the Post News Network offers a place for readers to become informed and for advertisers to get their message out. Nearly 9 million devices landed on Eagle's Post sites in the first half of 2020, an audience that grows every month. For more information on how to advertise on the Post News Network, email marketing@eagleradio.net. Eagle Radio, online, creative. Be heard, be seen, get results.
Did you know 90% of consumers who do a local search on their smartphone visit or call a store within a day? Eagle can help those consumers find you, our local business partners. Using our free Google Business Optimization, we will work with you to...
With mid-50s tomorrow. Mid-upper 40s north central, and tomorrow mid-50s. Low 50s overnight in the northeastern counties, upper 50s and low 60s for tomorrow's highs. Low to mid-40s southwest and low to mid-50s tomorrow. In the south central areas, low 50s for tonight, upper 50s and low 60s tomorrow afternoon. And in the southeastern counties, low to mid-50s overnight and mid-60s tomorrow. This is the Kansas Agriculture.
of the crowd raises the hair on your neck. It's the hometown pride for Gridiron Gladiators. This is indoor football. This is your Salina Liberty.
We have waited all week, but now it's Liberty time. It's the Coach Heron O'Neal Show, brought to you from AJ's Sports Bar and Grill in the Alley by St. John's Military School Historical Museum and Brooks Liquor. You can watch the Coach O Show live at salinapost.com. Now ready to talk everything Liberty football, here's Devin, Hanney, and Coach Heron O'Neal.
Welcome into AJ's Sports Grill in the Alley. I am Devin Hanney, along with the head coach, first ballot IFL Hall of Famer, and victorious head coach of the Salina Liberty from Monday. Coach, it's a victory Monday. We love these, don't we?
Absolutely.
And it was a big one on Saturday. You go into Sioux City, we'll get it started right out of the gate and say 39-30, you get the victory over the Sioux City Bandits. You're in control of this game. And again, I think we start with the defense because of your defense. It's kind of a weird game. It wasn't your typical indoor football game. We go back and forth the whole first half and just kind of trade possessions, and nobody's really able to advance on the other. And when we talk about defense, you have the Liberty with the number 1 defense in the league. You have Sioux City with the number 2 defense in the league. You have a rowdy crowd backing them up. And you're also trying to work 2 quarterbacks in, too. There's a lot going on here, but we're going to touch all of it. But just overall, what were your thoughts of the performance Saturday night?
Well, I thought it was a great test for us. When you play an undefeated team at their home, and I think they were 7-0 at that point, our players took it as a challenge. I took it as a challenge. I know what their coaching staff is. All of those guys used to play for Sioux City, so they know the game backwards and forwards. The O coordinator, D coordinator, head coach, and they just picked up another coach that's pretty good as well that coached in college that's a legend as well, which Coach Martinez and I, as you talk before the game as coaches, and especially the coaches you respect, and you get to know a little bit of the background and everything. So we knew it was not going to be easy. We knew that crowd from just looking at the film is going to be a part of that game, and we knew that their coaching staff was going to put them in position to be there pretty much the whole game. The thing that I was the most proud with is the adversity in which we faced with not having success, again, for the 3rd straight game, but how we finished the second quarter, the first half. It was identical to what we had going on in Omaha, and this time we hit the field goal. We go down. Jimmy makes a special kickoff, and the ball is muffed and jumbled around and everything, and another guy comes in and picks it up, and we strip them, score. That was a 9-point swing. So I love the way we responded, and I love how our special teams did stand up and play their big part in this game.
Yeah, the first field goal from Jimmy Allen back on the active roster this week came with just 3 seconds left to go in the half. So, a lot of people in the building are thinking, well, you got 3 seconds here. Sioux City, very capable returning kicks. That's, one of the best kick returners that's ever done it in Fred Bruno. And you also have the other side of it thinking, man, we cover this kick. They're going to come out, get the ball to start second half. We have 3 points here to work with. Then all of a sudden, and I couldn't see where I was at, whether it was Evan Ray or Dwayne Autry that got the strip, but ends up going into the hands of Anthony Love, who just angled it into the end zone from about 10 yards out. And then it's like, here we go. We got 9 more points now, and you go into the locker room with that 9-point lead. This game kind of seemed to me like there was a feeling out process a little bit in the first half. You alternated 2 quarterbacks. So let's look at the offense here. You had Curry Parham, this was his second start against Sioux City. You're alternating him along with Javin Kilgo, who came in onto the roster. You said he got here at 4 a.m., made a 9 a.m. practice, then hit the road to go to Sioux City with you guys. And you wanted to do that to give each one of them an opportunity and see who you liked if somebody stood out amongst the 2 quarterbacks in the first half. That was going to be your guy to go with in the second half. How'd you come to that judgment? And just talk about the first half going back and forth, because there wasn't a lot of touches there. They didn't get a lot of snaps because there was no scoring, and it just seemed like the clock was just running.
Well, I'll rewind it all the way back to right before halftime. I iced my own kicker because I'm trying to milk the clock as much as I can, and King Loban did a great job of icing them 2 more times.
Yeah.
But to have Jimmy back to kick that field goal was huge. The kickoff that he did was huge, of how he kicked it off and the muff and everything. But I'm a fair person. if both quarterbacks are both getting here, yes, the loyalty goes to Curry because he was here, like you said, that he played against these guys. He was here the whole year in 2019 as the backup quarterback. We gave him the start. He did what he needed to do at the Friday early morning practice, his only practice that he had. He did what he needed to do to get the start. But as the game got to going, Javin just had a little bit more – how can you say? It really wasn't him. We don't judge it just off of the individual of the quarterback. We judge of what the team does when they're in. And the team just seemed to move more fluently and a little bit easier than how can you say it? When things go bad, things go bad. When things go good, things go good. And the quarterback get all of the praise. The head coach get all of the blame. That's how that stuff goes. But we moved a little bit more fluently with Javin in, and that's why we went with him in that second half as well.
Do you feel a little bit of pressure, because we've seen you do this before, do you feel a little bit of pressure at halftime to make a decision and not continue to alternate them? Because you want to see some continuity, right? You want to see guys get used to the way quarterback A throws the ball and know what's coming each time he drops back to pass, or maybe he gets rushed out of the pocket. So do you feel a pressure to make a decision at halftime and stick with a guy in the second half?
Well, it kind of just depends on how our coaching staff feels about the whole situation, not just me as a whole. But we all kind of had a feeling that Javin moved the team the way it needed to be moved.
Yeah.
And he was just hot. So when a player is hot, you let him play. And we said that before the game to both quarterbacks to make sure everybody understood that it was not like, oh, we're going to do this. We let it play out. That's what we do here. And when you make plays, that's the one that we go with. Yes, it is major pressure when you don't have a for sure number one quarterback and you have to play two quarterbacks to make sure that they both have a chance. That's a major disadvantage going into a game like this against an undefeated team. That's not good.
Yeah.
You want to, especially at this point, it's only 2 or 3 games left. You want to make sure you have your quarterback already understood. But with our quarterback situation, it's been a revolving door, so to say, after Tyree left, and we want it to be fair. So we did the only thing that I know that's fair to do is put 2 series, and kind of go that route with it, and that's what we kind of came up with.
We have a lot to talk about in this game. When we come back in the second half hour, we will have D. Washington, which also brings up the thought of some highlight catches that happened for the Liberty in this game. And if you haven't seen him, you need to hit social media and check some of these out. We also have Coach Jorge Martinez. That's coming up in the second 30 minutes. But when we come back here, we're going to dig more into this game because 9-0 at halftime doesn't tell the story of the way this game went through in the second half. It became very, very exciting, and the Liberty made some plays to win 39-30. It's a victory Monday here at AJ Sports Grill, downtown Salina in the Alley. Come join us if you can. And also, we want to thank you for listening on KINA and watching on SalinaPost.com.
Injection therapy has received quite a bit of attention since its use by many professional athletes. Professional football players like Peyton Manning and Jamal Charles have used PRP therapy for sports injuries and to avoid surgery. But you don't have to be a world-class athlete with millions of dollars for this cutting-edge therapy. PRP is available to you in the Salina Pain Clinic. Call the doctors for a consultation and see if this treatment is right for you. See them at 200 South 5th in the Salina Surgical Arts Center. Spring is here, and that means more time outdoors with your favorite beverages from Salina Wholesale Liquor. More time outside means more barbecues and time on the go. Perfect time to pack our portable wines and ready-to-go cocktails. We also have a great selection of new seltzers and a huge selection of wine and whiskey. Spring in and save big now at all 3 locations. In Salina at Sam's Club, off 9th Street behind Cadova, and on the corner of Iron and Ohio. We have better prices, we're close and quicker. Salina Wholesale Liquor.
Think about the word
word precision. Precision represents quality and the fact of being exact and accurate. Isn't that what you want when it comes to electrical? Precision Electrical Contractors in Salina brings exact and accurate quality to electrical jobs in Central Kansas since 2003. Precision Electric's focus on quality and performance, combined with their experience and dedication, creates a winning set of finished products which saves their customers money. Don't rely on so-so electrical. Visit the team at Precision Electrical Contractors online at pecsalina.com.
And now back to the Coach O Show with Devin Hanney and Coach Heron O'Neal.
Down at the alley in downtown Salina, AJ Sports Grill is a place every Monday where we do the Coach Heron O'Neal Show. Coach, we're going to take next Monday off in observance of the Memorial holiday and the weekend that comes with Memorial Day. But 2 days before that, we'll be back at home at Tony's Pizza Event Center to take on the Topeka Tropics. That'll be a special game. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Right now, we are right in the middle of this game Saturday against Sioux City. 9-0 at halftime. You're playing against a Sioux City team, and we know the defense for the Liberty is very good. This is also a Sioux City team that went to Dodge City just 7 days earlier and hung 60-plus on the Southwest Kansas Storm. Got to be feeling pretty good about your defenders at halftime, don't you?
Yes, but I also give respect to their coaching staff and understanding of what they can bring to the table, as well as understanding that, you know, between them, Omaha, and Billings, those are the top three offenses in the league, that they can put up points in a hurry. So what we didn't want is a flurry of plays in that third quarter. We wanted to be, we get some stops and things of that nature, but not repeat scores after each drive. We made some adjustments at halftime, mostly on the offensive side of the ball, and I think that's why we did a little bit better offensively. Defensively, they came out and made some plays against us. They definitely did. And in that second half, it was some things that we are going to look at it and try to figure out how and why those things happen. But you got to get credit. Like I always say, those coaches get paid too. Those offensive personnel that they have over there, they make plays as well. So they did a great job of adjustments. We did a great job offensively making adjustments. Defensively, we need to be a little bit more firm in that second half and understanding what teams are trying to do against us and making the plays when we have the opportunity to make the plays.
Up 9-0 at halftime, Sioux City does get the football to start second half. When they won the toss, they deferred, so they start out with the football. They get a touchdown. Lorenzo Brown was able to find Brandon Shepard on a good pass in the back of the end zone, 26 yards away. And then Keenan Gibbs comes through. This is our guest last week on the Coaches Show. Coda comes through, and he blocks the extra point, keeps a field goal range between the two, 9-6. And at that point, I'm kind of thinking, I was like, you know, that could turn out to be a really, really big play. We're so used to Shaq coming from the outside and getting that corner penetration, but that time Keenan was able to get in.
Yeah, I think it was a mixture of both because now they're starting to do a little bit different things with our front when we go for field goal blocks. I still would say that Shaq had a hand on that as well. So I don't want to give it just to Kodak on that play. I think Shaq had a little bit to do with that as well. But it just goes to show you how when you play a big game against a undefeated team, the number one seed team in the whole league, how special teams come and rear its head. And we said that if you don't play a good game special teams wise, you're not going to win a championship. And I think that's where we're better this year than we've ever been. The thing that we need to get better at, though, for real, is the kick return game. We've had a number of different returners back there, but we're not settled on one or two. The one that has made the most plays is Autry, and we need to start designing some things there. But it was a great start of that half, but not the way we wanted to have it with the explosive play with half of the field being exposed for that touchdown there in the third quarter.
Javin Kilgo answers on our first highlight catch of the night. And I say first because there were multiple plays made by your offense, especially the receiving core. We mentioned we're going to talk to D. Washington coming up here in the second half hour, but Ed Smith made this one. This was a tough catch for Ed. He obviously didn't care or know where he was going to land, but he went up over the wall and didn't end up in a friendly area where the fans were. He actually ended up in a railing in the walkway coming down to the stands. He held onto the football. The touchdown counted. But what a catch by Ed. I mean, you've seen this multiple times from multiple angles, and every time you watch it, it just seems to get better, and thankfully he's okay.
Yes, and the thing about Fast Ed is, I mean, he went through 2 different walls in Wyoming. So this is a guy that most speed and quickness type guys are not about the physicality. Fast Ed will do anything for his football team. The mental toughness that he brings to the game. He played running back in college, so his first time ever really playing receiver pro was here. So he's a guy that he doesn't fear that wall. Our receivers don't fear that wall. That play was huge. I mean, it was a great throw by Javin, but the catch that he made was even more spectacular. Like you said, just to hint a little bit, those 2 plays are some of the best 2 plays I've seen in my 17 years of doing it. Yes, he didn't land well at all, but he has zero fear of making that play. And like he said on his Facebook, he'll do it again and twice on game day. So to have Fast Ed, he's a soldier for us. He soldiered up, and he's doing everything of what we've asked for him. They're playing him a little bit different this year, so the numbers are not where he wants them, where we want them, but we have different personnel at receiver that are also eating too. So this is exactly what I want, that you can sit and try to continue to take away Fast Ed, and we have other receivers that's going to do what they need to do. A-Love is another one that makes plays. These last 3 games he's played at an extreme clip. D-Wash is getting his field back in there, and we still have Fast Ed. So it's basically pick your poison, and then our run game in which we do, it's going to be hard to stop once we put it all together.
I want to ask you about the next play. Jimmy Allen's kickoff after that touchdown by Fast Ed went to the end zone, and there were some ball control issues for Sioux City. They couldn't really get control of football, and it kind of bounced around back there in the end zone. Your coverage team was able to come down and get them trapped in the end zone and actually recover the football. The ruling was that we, the Liberty, recovered the football but up against the wall where it was out of bounds. I was under the impression, and I'm not 100% right on the rule, or 100% sure I should say, but I would thought once the ball became loose in the end zone on a kickoff, the walls were live.
So you said that, and I would say that would be correct.
Okay.
So I'm not going to go against anything of nothing. I'm just okaying what you said. That is the rule. I'm not really sure what happened on that play as far as what was going on there, but the rule is that the walls in the end zone, there is no out of bounds there. So I'm going to leave it there because I don't want to get fined or anything and try to throw anybody under the bus or anything. But what you're saying is correct. Those walls are live. So I am very confused of what happened.
If you get fined for educating me, I'll pay the fine.
I'm trying to be making sure that, what you're saying is very much true. I'm still trying to get clarity of what happened on that play, and I'm just going to leave it right there. I'm not sure what happened there.
Of course, in indoor football, you cannot take a knee. You have to bring the ball out, and that ball became live, and the Liberty did recover. The ruling on the field was a rouge, which is a 1-point credit to the Liberty kicking team. Should have been a touchdown, I think, but you get a 1 point now. The score goes from 16-6 to 17-6. Then your defense comes back out on the field. They're able to force a turnover on downs with about 5.5 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Start driving down the field again. You've picked Javin Kilgo. He's your guy, quarterback the whole second half. And he throws a pass down the middle of the field. And I'll let you explain this because I've watched this I don't know how many times. And you hear the term on Monday Night Football during the NFL season, you got mossed. There's a whole segment on it where somebody goes up over somebody else. D. Washington's 6'5". He used every bit of that and his hands, one hand, on this play. He had the defensive back on the left shoulder, went up for the ball above here, and made one of the best one-handed catches I've ever seen in any league.
And I will concur that. I've been around football most of my life. My dad has showed me a lot of football pre-1975 that I'm a historian on that, and you best believe Martinez is going to make sure I know that piece as well. But I've never seen a guy catch the ball like that in my life with his left arm pent. And to catch the ball like this, I've never seen anybody do that. And so, I mean, I'm willing to put in indoor football, throw them all out there. I would love – go to my Facebook, throw it all out there. I would love to see somebody catch the ball like this with your left arm pent. I would love to see that. That's one of the best catches. That's one of my top three catches of all time. I've never seen anything quite like that at all.
It's on,
and it needs to be SportsCenter top 10 because I was tagging it. I'm trying to get SportsCenter and ESPN to understand and look at that. I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Some local news outlets picked it up. It's been around the state on social media, shared many, many times, and it's just, again, that and the catch by Ed Smith. Get on Coach O'Neal's Facebook page. They're both on there. They're incredible catches. That touchdown now starts to put a little bit of a gap between you and Sioux City. 23-6 was the score after that, and we go to the end of the third quarter. Sioux City starts to put together a drive. You and I talked about this last coach's show. We talked about it before the game Saturday in Sioux City in our pregame conversation. Once in a while, you have the tendency now to start dropping people into coverage when you think there's a trend happening with the offense. Drop Travis Taylor into coverage. Again, he gets another interception. But a couple plays before that, Shaq Bradford was dropped into coverage, and he came diving across one of the receivers in the end zone and looked like a defensive back, kind of batting that ball away. It looked like it might have been a touchdown because the receiver's sitting there open, had the ball coming right to him, then all of a sudden Shaq goes flying by and knocks that out. These guys are doing it at all levels of the game now, aren't they?
Yes, and the different type defensive ends that I bring in, you're not going to just be a pass rusher. You're not going to just be a run stuffer. You're going to be a guy that can do both and drop in coverage. I played in the NFL, and Dick Geron was my defensive coordinator and head coach when I was with the Chicago Bears. He believes in that the dropping of the ends, but you're not just going to drop and just be a bigger, plottier guy. You have to be mobile enough to make those plays. And the one that Shaq made in that end zone, he actually T-planted like a defensive back and actually broke on the ball like a defensive back, where if you're not, a natural athlete, you're not going to make that play. It was a great play call by them. It was a great execution of the play, a great throw by Lorenzo, who, in my opinion, is the MVP of this league of what he's done so far. But the play that Shaq made right there saved us a touchdown. And what Travis has done for us with these different plays of him dropping back and making plays as far as interceptions, you can't teach the natural inactability that he's doing for us. And it's an unsung thing because everybody, the sack numbers or tackles for loss, and Travis plays the game within the game, the play within the play, and he doesn't get the notoriety in which he does deserve. And he doesn't like the attention. He doesn't like all of that at all. We vote him up there as a captain. He don't really even like going out there and doing that either. But Travis has been a very key piece into what we're doing. He's running down on kickoff. He's blocking on kickoff return. He'll do anything for this football team to win, and he needs a shout-out. And maybe I think we probably found out who our next guy is if he so have us next week in 2 weeks of when we do our thing, if we're lucky enough to make it to the playoffs and things of that nature. He deserves some recognition for what he's done for us this year. He's leading by example. He doesn't say much, but he does what we need him to do. And I just want to give this moment to give him a shout-out.
Oh, we'll definitely try to get him on. There's no doubt about that. We're taking next Monday off for Memorial Day, but this is not our last show, so we have time to get him on. There's no doubt about that. D. Washington catches his second touchdown right after that turn of events with Travis Taylor's interception, then a couple of Sioux City scores at the end to kind of close us out. Jimmy Allen had a field goal in there. Tristan Gould had had a touchdown run in the last minute. Go to 5-3 after a 39-30 score. You look at the standings now. Sioux City is 7-1. That's the first loss that they've taken. And I feel like this happened, you hear about statement games and all that, but this was not a must-win for you. It was we probably need to win. It wasn't a must-win. But you also made a statement within this game saying, okay, we need a W ourselves no matter who we're playing, but we're also going to go into the only undefeated team left in the league that has a 2-game lead in their building and beat them, just so people know that what we're capable of. I mean, you kind of look at it like that because if you come away with a loss, everybody kind of has this cloud in their head thinking, man, Sioux City's untouchable right now.
And doubt. And that's what we wanted to come out of this game with, no doubt. And we were very secure in what we came up there to do. We prepared ourselves for what happened up there, and we were the better team that day. but we also needed a signature win on the road.
Yeah.
And what better to have a signature win against a team that was undefeated, that everybody thought was untouchable. We went up there and we did what we needed to do. And that shows the coaching. It shows our ownership group to still believe in the coaches that are here, believe in the ball players that are here, our fans that did travel up there. We did have a nice little section.
Yes.
Jimmy Sponder had some people up there, and we had another section there. So we felt quite at home on the road. But we needed a signature win on the road to prove that we may have to do that come playoff time.
Mm-hmm.
That, yes, we played Omaha tough, but we didn't win. We played Billings tough, but we didn't win. We had not had a signature win on the road. Now we do. So that gives the confidence moving forward that you should be able to go into any arena, no matter on any given Saturday or Sunday or Monday or whatever we play on, that you can get that win. So that was what I was going for, and I wanted to improve as a football team, which I think we did.
Entering the last 5 minutes here of our segment with you, let's go over the standings right now. Sioux City is 7-1, Billings at 6-2. They have a combined 3 losses. 2 of those are Liberty wins. So you've accounted for 2 of those 3 losses. Those 2 teams play each other now coming up this Saturday. Meanwhile, you're at home. You're in a 3-way tie record-wise. Let's not get into tiebreakers yet. You're in a 3-way tie record-wise at 5-3, and you have the Topeka Tropics coming in here on Saturday at Tony's Pizza Event Center. What do you know about the Tropics? I know that we walked into their building, first game of the season. They had a game under their belt. The Liberty did not. And I know you were learning a lot about this team, but they have gotten better since then as well. They've made a lot of changes as they get kind of their diaper off here, being a brand new franchise. They're playing a lot better football, aren't they?
Absolutely, and it's a team not to be slept on. They play great defense. They're flying around. They make plays. They intercept footballs. They force fumbles. Their special teams are doing what they need to do. Coach Bonner down there as their new offensive coordinator in the last 2 weeks have had them in both ball games doing what they need to do. So we never look at record. We look at it as they're the next opponent on our schedule, and we need to go handle our business. And we're finally getting to be at home. It feels like we've not been at home for probably about 3 or 4 weeks, even though it's only probably been 2. But it feels like it's been a long, long time. So the thing that I'm happy about, we get to be back in front of our fans at Tony Pizza Event Center. The last time we were here was against Billings Outlaws. They were playing some great football. I think they had a 5 or 6 game winning streak. So come on out, check us out. If you haven't checked it out, I know people are talking about it around town. Now that I'm coming out a little bit more and seeing different people everywhere, that's what people are talking about. So come on out, check us out if you haven't checked us out. And the ones that have checked us out, bring a friend or two to show them what we're doing here in Salina.
Especially if you love great football and if you're a fan of the defense. That's kind of where I'm at. So I'm going to give you about 45 seconds here because coming up in the second half hour of the show, you're going to give your chair to D. Washington. He came in. D. Wash was a kind of a midseason ad. It was a guy that, as far as roster ad goes, was a no-brainer. What do you think about him?
Well, D. Wash is a guy, we had him in 2016. I think it was 2016 is when we had him. But I actually made some calls for him in 2015 that landed him in the NFL for an NFL trial with the Indianapolis Colts. So I think the world of this guy. I mean, he is a guy that is supremely talented. Another guy that's misunderstood. They look at his antics, but not look at the person. And what you have to look at is who he is as a person, his substance of a person. Does he play around a lot? Yes. He reminds me of my little bro, my brother Chauncey. He plays a lot. He's joking, and they think that nothing is serious. He takes football very serious. He wants to make plays. That's why he came here. He knows we were going to be a contender. He wanted to be part of that rise like the Phoenix to get to these opportunity to be in the playoffs, and he took full advantage of it. And Coach Martinez recruited him. He stayed in contact with them, and that's how we got him. So I'm super ecstatic that he is here with us and looking for bigger and better things for him, not to be content with what he did this last game. let's continue on and lead us to a championship.
We're up against the news. Top of the hour. We'll be away about 5 minutes. When we come back, second half hour, we'll have D. Washington. We'll also have Jorge Martinez join us in the second 30 minutes. News is up next. Coach Heron O'Neal Show returns after the news right here on KINA, Salina, Kansas, and SalinaPost.com.
KINA Salina, 910 AM, 107.5 FM, K298CZ, an Eagle Communication Station.
More weapons for Ukraine. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin says after meeting today, nearly 50 defense leaders from around the world have agreed to send more advanced weapons there.
The Ukrainian armed forces will need our sustained support. The United States is committed to standing with Ukraine over the long term.
Some of the weapons include a harpoon launcher and missiles to protect its coast. Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley, told reporters no U.S. Special Forces are going into Ukraine, and that any decision on that would be up to President Biden. The regional governor of Donetsk, Ukraine, says 3 civilians in the region died in Russian attacks today, but did not give further details. Earlier, he said heavy fighting continues in the region. Those who oppose a vaccine mandate for federal employees are seeking new appeals to revisit the issue.
A 3-judge Fifth Circuit Appeals Court panel ruled in April to dismiss a challenge and require federal workers to be vaccinated against COVID. That ruling takes effect next week, so a group against the mandate has filed for a new hearing that asks a full panel of 17 circuit judges to weigh in. The federal government has until early June to respond to the new call. There is no sign that any action will be taken prior to that.
Fox's Cornell Scott. In January, a federal judge struck down President Biden's order that mandated vaccines. That ruling was struck down by an appeals court in March. California Governor Gavin Newsom says he may put mandatory water restrictions in place if people don't start using less water. He raised the possibility after meeting with local water agencies that supply major areas like Los Angeles and San Francisco. He's already called for a 15% voluntary reduction in water use, but so far has avoided mandatory cuts. The District of Columbia sued Meta chief Mark Zuckerberg in an attempt to hold him responsible for a privacy breach of millions of Facebook users. America's listening to Fox News.
Why choose proven quality sleep from Sleep Number? Because our Sleep Number 360 smart bed is really smart. It senses your movement and automatically adjusts to help keep you both comfortable. It's even smart enough to know exactly how long, how well, and when you slept, and to help you get almost 30 minutes more restful sleep per night. Sleep Number takes care of the science. All you have to do is sleep. Save $1,000 on the Sleep Number 360 Special Edition Smart Bed Queen, now only $19.99, plus special financing. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com. Special financing subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
You know, every 3 seconds there is a new victim of identity theft. A criminal could be applying for loans in your name, selling your personal information on the dark web. Now, protecting your identity can be very easy thanks to LifeLock by Norton. No one company can prevent all identity theft or monitor every transaction of every business, but LifeLock, it's simple and easy to protect yourself, and you'll save up to 25% off your first year when you go to LifeLock.com or call 1-800-LifeLock. Just use the promo code Hannity.
A man who once confessed to killing a former beauty queen in Georgia was acquitted of murder, but has been sentenced in connection with her death.
A judge in Irwin County, Georgia, sentenced Ryan Duke to 10 years in prison for concealing Tara Grinstead's body. He's already served 5 years after confessing in 2017 to killing her more than a decade earlier. Judge Bill Reinhart said ahead of sentencing,
"You had a great defense in the case. That is what it is, and you should be punished accordingly, not for murder."
Ryan's attorneys pointed out that his DNA was not found in her home.
There.
He testified it was his friend Bo Dukes who killed Tara. He said Bo asked him to help burn her body.
Nothing too difficult, just having a conversation.
Bo's in prison for concealing Tara's body. The prosecutor said they didn't plan to charge him with murder, as they still believe it was Ryan who did it.
I'm good.
Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
For women, the answer to stress could be to hug it out, but a new study finds men may not want to do the same.
Researchers looked at how 76 people responded to stress after a hug from a romantic partner. Women showed a decrease in the production of the stress hormone cortisol. Researchers say it's hard to pinpoint why the same response wasn't observed in men. pointing to a possible societal perception of hugs as unusual or awkward. Or scientists say there could be a difference in touch receptors in men versus women. Either way, the study says the difference in results was unexpected. Gian Gelosi, Fox News.
The Tony Awards Administration Committee has announced that Angela Lansbury will get a special Tony at this year's awards for Lifetime Achievement in Theater. Lansbury made her Broadway debut in 1957 and has won 5 over her career, including for Mame and Sweeney Todd, but is probably best known for a starring role in the long-running TV show Murder, She Wrote. The Tonys will be handed out June 12th. On Wall Street, after 7 straight weeks of losses, the indexes ended the day higher. The Dow added 618, the Nasdaq plus 180, the S&P gained 72. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
And now here's Devin Hanney with your Liberty Player Profile, brought to you by AJ's in the Alley, St. John's Military School Historical Museum, and Brooks Liquor.
We're having a lot of fun here at AJ's in the Alley, back with our player profile here on the Coach O Show. Getting ready for a home game here at Tony's Pizza Event Center. D. Washington here joining us. And man, we got a lot to talk about here because you had some catches on Saturday at Tyson Event Center against the Sioux City Bandits. We'll get to that a little bit. Just fill us in on D. Wash. What's your story? Where do you come from? What's your hometown? Just tell us a little bit about where you come from.
From Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
Right now, got a family out in Arizona. Just, 2 kids, 2 brothers who are in Texas also. Man, I'm the life of the show.
So usually people from Texas, you're pretty loyal to the state of Texas. Are you a Texas guy through and through no matter what?
I grew up on that.
Yeah.
I guess as we get older, we expand. But from the heart, yeah. Dallas, Texas all the way. Dallas Stars, Dallas Cowboys, Texas Rangers.
So I have to ask you, there's been a lot of great Cowboys receivers wear number 88. Who's your favorite of them all?
I like Des Bryant. I give it Des Bryant.
All right.
But Michael Irvin, I'm old school. So Michael Irvin was the true catcher. But I like Des Bryant. He brought the excitement to me.
Cowboys, I'm kind of a Cowboys fan. I grew up a Cowboys fan. Can we ever get it done in the playoffs? What's going on there? You looking good for that or what? Always on prime time. We got that covered, but got to get some wins in the postseason, right?
It's one thing to get close, but if you don't get that ultimate playoff win, it's tough. It's tough.
Let's talk about you here in the professional ranks. You are one of the best to ever do it in indoor football, and you've had some experience around with Heron O'Neal, with Coach Martinez in Colorado, if I remember right, playing with them.
Correct.
Tell us about the history that goes on with you and these 2 guys here that we have leading the Salina Liberty right now.
Man, the chemistry, the trustworthiness, I'll say, is one of the big things. And even when they barely knew me back then, they gave me those keys to trust that I'll do the right thing. So, and I showed them. I fulfilled that mark. Other than that, they always knew that I'll come and perform. Even during bad week of practice, they just had that trust and belief. So, and that always stuck with me coming back now.
Yeah.
Once I talked to them, I was like, you know what, I know that they're going to believe in me and make me believe in myself. So that was one of the big things, just making me believe in myself.
Coach O'Neal told us before the break that you actually had some time going through some workouts and doing some tryouts with some NFL squads. I think he said the Indianapolis Colts was one of them. What was that experience like for you, and what did you learn?
Oh, it was so real. It was so real. Just being out there, not being starstruck because my brother was an NFL guy as well, but just being out there, being able to work with Andrew Luck and all them guys, it was so real. Like the feeling, just being out there, even catching that first pass, warming up in front of the whole staff, the towel guys, asking if I'm tired. It was really undeniable. It was kind of like a dream. So when I went back to the hotel that night before they let me know everything was going on, I was just kind of still soaking up the moment. So that moment was so real.
I'm always curious about that because, we're talking about top 1%. People don't realize how much talent you have to be to even get a call like that. And to have that happen, that's phenomenal. So first of all, congratulations. But I'm curious, what did you learn? Did you learn something there that you carry with you today, whether it's preparation or going into a game, first offensive drive? What was it that you learned during that process that you may still carry with you into games now?
Really just the route. Understanding that you may be that number 1 target, you may not. But if you can run your route precisely and get the next person open, you're doing your job. I take this deep route and I draw 2, I feel like I did my job. If the ball is still thrown and I have 2 on me, now it's time to go get my money. So that ball is like considered my money. That's my check.
Yeah, good way to look at it. You came in at a time in transition where Tyree Adams was starting to bloom as a quarterback. He gets a CFL contract, right? So then we're kind of searching for somebody to get you the ball. I got to tell you, I had a lot of respect for you over the last couple of weeks because the ball wasn't coming your way.
Yes.
But what really sticks out in my mind, the first thing I saw you do that in my mind I said, this guy's going to help this team, is your blocking.
Yeah.
You're out there on run plays working just as hard, if not harder, as what you are in pass routes. Talk about that part of your game and what you take pride in as far as the run game.
Well, just believing in my teammates, honestly, and I wouldn't just take all the credit because we come as a receiver group, me, Ed, and A-Love, and we talk about it in the huddle. When we hear the play and we break out, it's like, okay, you got this guy, you got that guy. So if one of us slip and we are able to catch it, we're going to help him get right or help the next person. We know the ball is going on the X screen to A-Love. Hey, we have to make him believe that we're going to get these blocks. So it's more of a unit than just, I would say, me. Yeah, it might look like me, but if Ed doesn't make that block, A-Love is not successful. I don't make that block.
Do you like the physicality? You like the contact part of it?
I used to not.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I used to not, but, just getting older, just understanding, like, my role, knowing that, hey, look, it's not all about me.
Yeah.
So that was one of the biggest things, even coming in here, understanding the role and understanding what they already have here and what I can add. That was a big plus. So
that was the big question for you, D. I mean, you're starting conversations again with Coach Martinez and also Coach O'Neal. What was it about Salina? You're kind of looking around and you're going, other than those two, what was it about Salina that you saw that made you want to come play?
To be truthfully honest, it was Coach Martinez, Coach O. I know past couple of years they tried to get me out here and I went opposite ways, not due to anything else, other opportunities. But this year, after going through adversity in Texas, playing with a team out there, nothing towards that team as well. Once I up and left that team, I gave Coach Martinez a call and we briefly talked for a good 30 minutes to an hour, and it was just basically on what was next.
Can you talk to Coach Martinez for less than 30 minutes? I can't. It's always a long conversation, right?
Coach Martinez loves everyone, and
that's right.
If you don't understand him and know that, then you don't understand what kind of call you're getting into.
That's right. That's right. So I want to fast forward here a little bit. You come into the building. You join this team kind of midway through this season. As we said, Liberty in transition. When you hit the field and you're in a first practice with these guys, what'd you see on the roster? What'd you see that kind of made you go, okay, this is a team that has some potential here?
Guys either played against or with from past experience. What was there, the camaraderie, stepping in. When I first stepped in that first practice, I hugged the wall. I was a wall player. Yeah, I still had my personality. Yeah, I made people laugh and so on and so forth, but I want to see how it was without me being in the picture.
Yeah, that's
guys knew, I maybe was coming in and so on and so forth, but just being there and maybe them thinking whatever they may have thought of me and me thinking whatever, feeling whatever I felt of them, it was just really filling each other out. What am I going to do? What are they going to do? How do they look? How do I look? And it's all my opinions, my judgments of myself. It's like, where do I fit? So, I don't want to come in and step on anyone's toes, whether you're a vet or a rookie, because I'm coming in mid-season.
And that can be tough, right? Because coming in, when you're going to come in, you're going to be on the active roster. So somebody's got to slide off because these rosters are so darn small, 21 guys. So it is a tough thing mentally sometimes too, isn't it, where somebody is going to be cut off the roster on game day because you're here. How do you handle that part of it?
Well, if I come and I'm not ready, I'm not in shape, Coach Martinez and Coach O are going to do what they feel is best for the team. So me coming and being dominant and ready and understanding it wasn't too much of pushing the next man off. It was still letting them learn. So I come in, I may run a route, and I run my routes to make the next person ask, okay, what did you see when you did that?
Yeah.
So instead of me just being a vet and not giving the game off, I'd rather explain to them, let them know why I did that, why I ran this route and sat down, or why I kept going. So the experience, and if the next person might not know. You might not be playing this week, but I'm also leave hope next week for you to get better.
Yeah.
If you're not cutting your routes, or if you are cutting your routes short, then yeah, as a vet receiver, I'm gonna let you know, hey, look, you didn't get it because if you would have took it 2 yards past where you need to, maybe you would have came. Maybe the ball would have came. So it's just giving the younger guys and the other guys I have with me the knowledge I have. That's the biggest thing.
Great way to look at it. That's
Yes,
absolutely a great way to look at it. So let's talk about the fun stuff here. Let's get into the game on Saturday. You're kind of blowing up a little bit here on social media because of one of the touchdown catches you made. You had a couple of them in the game against Sioux City. Just take me through it, man. You're going down the seam, and Kilgo is able to find you, and you're covered up. You're one-on-one with a guy. What did you see as that play started developing and the ball was in the air?
To be honest, it was more so of running the right route. When I first get out there, I'm watching the receiver, and I know I have a 9 route. He's sitting inside. I think one of the biggest things was when he peeked at the quarterback. I knew to cut it then. So he looked at the quarterback because I felt like he knew I was coming for a post. So he was sitting there, but he peeked at the quarterback, and that's when I took my shot to go in. When the ball actually came, like I've always talked to with Javin, it's like, just give me a chance.
Yeah.
And that's one thing we know through past history is you just put it up there and let me, give me a chance. Keep it in the arena, keep it out the arena, just give me a chance to make the play. So when he released it, for a second I thought it went too far, but I leaned and it was just an amazing grab, honestly. I can't say like, oh, I practiced this, I do this. It was just one of those things that it happened. It just happened.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you have prepared for, though, right? I mean,
Of
you
course.
dream about catches like that, and I've heard people ask all kinds of questions about it. Of course, I shared it on my social media, and Dan comes in tonight, one of the owners of the Liberty, and he couldn't believe how you caught the ball and then tucked it away. And we saw Coach O'Neal try to explain that in the last segment. But hold your hand up for me. I mean, that's kind of where that came from, right? You had the defensive back with one arm. The other hand did all the work, didn't it?
Yes, sir. Like I said, it was a well-placed ball, and through the grace of God, I put my hand up, and I felt it stick. Once it hit my palm, I felt it, I squeezed it, and now it's like coming down. That was the second part of any catch.
Yeah.
The first thing is putting your hands on the ball, catching it. The second part of it is coming down. And once I came down, I knew I solidified the catch. It was just coming down, making sure I still have hold of it. So that's where the cradling part comes in, and I mean, the rest was excitement. Like, I knew we were going to win. I was already feeling good. So, no lie, it was just a so real feeling, honestly.
Sioux City's such a fun place to play. It seems like they do everything the right way there. What does it feel like to go in a building where a team that hangs banners, they're up there, we all saw them, and they're undefeated this season? What's it feel like to walk out of that building that night at 10 o'clock after a win and know that you're on track?
As a team, as an organization, I felt like it was so real again. It was a good win. Are we finished? No. But it was something to soak up for that moment, for that day or two. We're ready. We're locked and loaded, ready for this week, whether we're playing a team that's undefeated or whether we're playing a team that's 0-, whatever. So we had our fun. Now we're just mentally getting ready to physically prepare for this week and, go on and take on our next opponent.
You have a Topeka team coming in. You get to play at home here in Salina, your last home game. And you also get more time with the new quarterback, with Javin Kilgo. Coach told me he came in, kind of squeaked in when the sun was coming up, made it to practice, and was on the bus to go to Sioux City. Are you looking forward to the week and spending more time with him because you guys are on the same side of the ball?
Well, it's really, like I said, it goes back to just being prepared with everyone. I wouldn't just say with offense. Defense got offense back, offense got defense back. So whether we do go with Javin or we go with Curry, both of them are good quarterbacks. They both coming to learn. They're learning off each other. They're vibing off each other, and that's another good thing I'll say about Curry. Once he did get taken out, he was still there. He was still there. The camaraderie was still there. He was never having his head down. He was telling Javin everything he see. What can prepare Javin for the next drive. So I have big shout-outs towards him as well. And, either quarterback, when we're in practice, it doesn't matter. We're just getting ready to prepare for the next game.
Well, I got to tell you, D, for radio guys like me that watch every play, I love watching you play. I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much for your time. We're going to talk more in the future, okay? I got to get Jorge over here on the air, so we got to save a couple of minutes.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
D. Washington, get on social media. His highlight catches are all over the place. 2 touchdowns on Saturday, and looking for more as the season goes along. We're going to take a quick break. Coach Martinez joins us when we come back here at AJ's in the Alley, downtown Salina. It's the Coach O Show.
KINA Regional's Orthopedic and Sports Medicine is your home field advantage. Our physicians include sports medicine physician Dr. Matthew Pyle, along with orthopedic surgeons Drs. Travis Rump and Todd Riley, plus an A-team of certified athletic trainers and physical therapists. We're ready when you need us to help prevent injuries, enhance performance, or to heal through surgery and rehabilitation. For area athletes to weekend warriors, the home field advantage starts at Salina Regional Orthopedic and Sports Medicine.
It's spring cleaning time, and that means you should add one more little thing to your to-do list. Call Comfort Heating and Air for an HVAC clean and check. Our technicians will make sure your system is in tip-top shape, so when warm weather arrives, your AC will be ready. That means cleaning your coils, checking Freon levels, double-checking all electrical connections for safety, even changing your filters. With locations in Salina and Clay Center, we are the company that cares. Comfort Heating and Air.
You can rely on the company that cares. We're Comfort Heating and Air.
St. John's Military School Historical Museum, located on the northeast corner of 9th and Otis, preserving the 131-year history of St. John's Military School and continuing its involvement within the Salina community. Visit us at www.sjmshm.org. Find us on Facebook or call the office today at 785-404-2333 for more information or to book an appointment.
And now back to the Coach O Show with Devin Hanney and Coach Heron O'Neal.
Back here on the Coach O Show, talking to Francis Flax a little bit here about some activities that are going on Saturday for our very special Memorial Day weekend game. And we're going to have a tailgate at Tony's Pizza Event Center start off at 3 o'clock on Saturday. This is a game over history, Coach Martinez, that it seems like we always play Memorial Day weekend at home. And I know that this ownership group takes it very seriously. I know that the team takes it very seriously. It's a weekend to pay homage, but it's also a weekend that you don't want to have failure on, right? You want to defend your home turf. You kind of want to stand up and be able to be the Salina Liberty on Memorial Day weekend. There's a lot of activities going on Saturday. We encourage people to start their big weekend Saturday with Tony's Pizza Event Center and Salina Liberty, don't we?
Absolutely, and what Coach Flax has done and include the veterans here in this city to participate is something that is so special, because if you're around that and see what he does, not even before the game, during the game, and during halftime, to make sure that everybody who is a veteran is saluted and celebrated for what they've done, because it's just a tremendous thing that they have done in their lives, whether it was 2 years, whether it was 25 or 40 years of what they did to put their service to our country. It's special to my heart, as Coach knows that, because of a lot of reasons. But yes, what we do with the veterans is something special. And so with that being said, and us being the Liberty, absolutely want to play at our perfect level that we can.
So tailgate party starts in Tony's Pizza Event Center parking lot at 3 o'clock. We're also going to have about a dozen or more young men and women take their oath to join the United States Army during halftime, from what I understand. So that will be very, very cool. And I've seen that performed before. It is bone-chilling. It is goosebumps. It is all the feelings as people join the U.S. Army. And that will be going on live at Tony's Pizza Event Center during the Liberty game on Saturday. So the red, white, and blue will mean more than most Saturdays. Absolutely. This Saturday coming up. Absolutely. Of course, you can get your tickets at Tony'sPizzaEventCenter.com or walk up to the box office during regular business hours, 8 to 5. Select your seat. Kids tickets start at $7. Adult tickets start at $12 as the Liberty get ready now for the Topeka Tropics.
Yes.
Let's go back to the first game of the season. Make the trip to Topeka, playing the Tropics.
Yes.
Brand new franchise. They had a game under their belt, though, and as Coach O and I were talking about, this is a team that has grown up a little bit over this season. They are still looking for their first win, but boy, they have been close against some really good teams.
What they've done is they put in different personnel, and that's what you're supposed to do as a professional football team, is make sure that if you're stagnant with what you have and you're not doing something, that's your fault. But they are bringing in new athletes. They're bringing in a new situation. They're bringing in new talent and bringing in new offenses and defenses for them to give them an opportunity to be more successful than what they have. And what they're doing is very challenging of what we're going to go against. So when we go see them, it is going to be a challenge both offensively and defensively.
This season's not over. 2 regular season games left, and then we're going to start the playoffs this Saturday at home against the Topeka Tropics at Tony's Pizza Event Center. Next Saturday, June 4th, we go to Dodge City and visit the Southwest Kansas Storm. So 2 big games coming up here to round out the regular season. But I want to put a pause on things here because you and I have talked this season about adversity and some things that have happened this season with the Liberty. And how did it feel for you? And again, the season's not over. We realize that. But you and I talked a little bit off air when we were here today. It feels pretty good to go into anybody's home and come out with a win. You guys were able to do that Saturday against Sioux City. And as D. Washington and I were talking about, Sioux City does everything the right way. It just seems like such a fun crowd. They're into the game. They love indoor football. They love hockey. We're in there one time. They have the football game in front of them. They're showing hockey highlights from their Sioux City hockey team on the big screen. The crowd's going nuts. Yes, they do. But, man, when you guys walk out of there and you get on that bus to come home, it's got to feel pretty good, doesn't it?
It was a great victory for this football team, the organization, and the city. And I'm glad that the city will come back, and because it's been a tough season for us all. It's been a tough season for us, but, yes, for that signature win that we had in Sioux City for the second time is very special. To hop on that bus with these 21 people that we had on this and my coaching staff and everybody, and to hop on it, and we had a little celebration, which is what you're supposed to do as being professional athletes, was a great feeling. But looking always forward to the next week that we have to do, and which is this week.
Absolutely. Things turn pretty quick, especially when you stick a holiday in there. These last 2 games are going to happen pretty fast. And I know you guys are always looking. You're looking at the roster. You're seeing who may be banged up, who might be questionable. And it always helps to have some guys in reserve, doesn't it? And it always helps to have some guys on the phone. We talked to D about him and his history with you and Coach O'Neal. What's your take on D. Washington? We saw some of the catches he made, but he's an interesting guy as well, isn't he? Some of the things he just said to me are very deep, but they're also very respectable, the way he looks at the game.
That's a very good question that you asked me. I've been in D-Wash since I inherited him in Colorado. Professional basketball player, played in Europe, played professional football for a couple teams. We found him, and Coach O'Neal said, watch this. So I watched him on film back in 2015. We got him in 2016, and what he did in the IFL at that time is just broke all of their receiving records that year. He's still been playing, had an injury. Have I always wanted him? Absolutely, because he's that special of a talent. And the one thing I always want to say about that young man, he's very coachable, and he understands anything that I say to him is for his purpose, not for mine, for his purpose, because the one thing we always want to do, and he's had a trip to the NFL, is get him back to that level. And that's the special talent that that young man has.
Things right now look pretty good for the Salina Liberty. You guys are in a tie around the 3rd place area at 5-3. Sioux City and Billings, the 1 and 2 right now. But as I told Coach O'Neal, 3 losses between Sioux City and Billings. You guys have 2 of those as victories for the Liberty. They play each other this coming weekend. We play at Tony's Pizza Event Center against the Topeka Tropics. Kickoff set for 6:35. We'll start pregame here with Comfort Heating and Air at 6 o'clock. And you want to head on over to Comfort Heating and Air's Facebook page because they will be giving away 4 tickets to the game this Saturday. Of course, you can always buy them at Tony'sPizzaEventCenter.com. And walk up during regular business hours, 8 to 5. Select your seat. Kids tickets start at $7. Adult tickets start at $12. And our theory: bring a friend, right? Grab somebody who hasn't been to a Liberty game and say, "Let's go watch a good football."
It's the funnest thing. Not only is it one of the funnest events that is here in Salina, but you're going to enjoy it and want to come back.
Absolutely. And the Memorial Day weekend game is always an important game. A list of events of this game and this weekend, starting at 3 o'clock with the tailgate at Tony's Pizza Event Center, will be listed on the Salina Liberty Facebook page. You can follow along there and get all the information for this weekend as the Salina Liberty come home 5-3 to take on the Topeka Tropics. We will do it again 2 weeks from today. We'll take Memorial Day off in observance of that holiday and the very special day it is. And when we come back, we'll have 2 games to talk about and ready for the playoff run. That doesn't seem possible, right?
I'm very excited for the playoff, but it didn't at one time. But yes, it's absolutely in our vision, and we're going to do something special.
Okay, so we're not done. We're going to have more coaches shows. We're going to be back coming up. It will be, let me see, let's do the math here. June 6th will be the next coaches show from AJ's in the Alley here, downtown Salina. We'll see you on Saturday at Tony's Pizza Event Center as the Liberty take on the Tropics, and we have pregame starting at 6 right here on KINA.